Melbourne clash, folks?
Oh, I think we've only got 2 players not available for selection this week, so we're pretty fit and healthy, and we've got a number of players who are not only in good form in the AFL but in the NEFL. So a few selection dilemmas this week.
How do you weigh up Jared Berry? Available this week, missed 4 or 5 weeks, obviously a really important player to you. How do you decide on where he plays?
Good block of training in the last 3 weeks. Probably was ready to go last week, if the truth be known, but we just wanted to make sure that he'd done enough work to be ready. So, he's one that we'll consider for the AFL team.
How tricky is it with a midfielder that's missed 5 weeks versus his importance to the squad, I suppose, whether you bring him back through the NEFL or bring him straight in?
Yeah, it's not all that tricky in terms of fitness for Jared, because he's naturally a good runner. So, and as I said, he's done a good block of work. So his running fitness, the pre-season that he had, the games that he played up to the point where he got injured, he's got plenty of work under his belt. So it's just a matter of whether or not he can push somebody else out of the team at the moment. So we'll decide that this afternoon.
And what about the headache at large with your selection? Like, the guys you brought in last week were some of your best players, like Bundy's probably one of his best games for the club, and Oscar. And how about the headache that the form of the squad's causing you at the moment?
Well, that's good. It's a good thing. It's better than the reverse. It's better to have a lot of players putting their hands up, and then it just comes down to us coaches working out the best, combination of 22 players for that particular game on that weekend, because we have this year moved a little bit away from just picking the same 22 every week to being a bit more horses for courses. So you need a good squad with good variety and different talents to be able to do that. So that just is a little step, I suppose, in our evolution as a footy club.
What's your read on how Melbourne will play this week?
They'll play with great ferocity, as they always do. They've actually been in really good form the last 5 weeks, and I know that might sound strange for me to say that because they've only won the one game. That was last week against Freo. But the previous 4 weeks they've played teams like Collingwood, GWS, Adelaide, who are all in the top 8, and they've pushed them all the way. Probably, if anything, a little bit of accuracy in front of goal has cost them in some of those games. So, we have huge respect for Melbourne. They played in the preliminary final last year. They have a really talented list, and they play a hard contested brand of footy. So that's what we're readying ourselves for. We know that we have to, if we want to beat them, we've got to at least match them in that area.
You happy to be back here at the Gabba this week, mate, after almost a month away?
Yeah, it seems like it's been a while, and then we've got another couple of weeks away. So, and then I think we have a good string of games here in a row. So, no, it's good to be back at the Gabba. Really hopeful that a good crowd will turn up. I think the ticket sales are growing. We're expecting the crowd somewhere around 20,000, and hopefully it could grow even more with a few people on school holidays and things that might just turn up to the game. So, it's always good to be playing back here. We've been in pretty good form in most of the games that we've played here, so we don't take that for granted though. We've got to turn up ready to go, so it is good to be back here.
And the first curtain raiser of the year for the NEFL side.
Yeah, that's another thing that's good. I wish that would happen more often. It would make it easier for all of us to be able to watch both of our teams play, but another draw card for the fans, I guess, to turn up early and watch the next generation coming through.
I know you don't like to look too far ahead, Fags, but this feels like a big game with GWS and Port Adelaide away to come straight after this.
Yeah, well, you're right. I haven't looked too far ahead. No, just focusing on this week. We'll think about GWS down the track and Port Adelaide. And I know you're referring to travels, but we travelled last week and we won, and we travelled to Melbourne earlier in the year and we won, and we've been pretty good on the road. So we'll worry about that when the time comes and just focus on this weekend. It's all that matters.
What's the next? You're always like a layer by layer and a constant improvement sort of mindset. Obviously, what's the next stage or wave of development for the team, do you think?
It's always lots of little things, probably the big thing has just been consistency with pressure and hunt of the ball across 4 quarters. We're searching for that. We've been searching for it all year. We've got better at it, but we're still not to the level that we want to be up there and competitive with the really good sides who just do it week in and week out.
That part looked a level up last week, particularly your forward 50, Christensen and Cam and Link McCarthy. Was that emphasis, or do you think there was a bit of just the extra freshness?
Oh, no, if you actually have a look at our ability to hunt the ball and our forward line pressure's been up there in the top 2 or 3 in the competition all year, so that's been a reasonable constant for us. It's just more that around the ground contests and long down the line plays, things like that we just want to get a bit better at.
The club had a nice video yesterday, mate, about Marcus Adams and his return from injury. Could you just give us a bit of an update of where he's at, when we might get to see him?
Yeah, well, I don't know when you'll get to see him, but it's good that he's back playing. He had his first game last week, which was his first game for the club, so that's a long time not playing, on the back of not playing a lot at all for the Bulldogs late last year, so it's almost been a full year of football that he's missed. He enjoyed the hit out last week. He was fit enough to go the distance. He played a pretty solid game, albeit the Neefle team won by a big margin, so there wasn't a huge amount of work to do down back, but he did what he needed to do, and he'll have another hit out this week, and it'll just depend on his form and whether an opportunity comes up at what time he gets back into the team. I know he's impatient, which is good, but we'll just have to wait and see.
I've been told by a Lions friend of mine to ask you about Toby Wooler, a guy who's been in the Neefle a couple of years. With the side so fit, do you see any guys getting that opportunity to debut late in the season? Someone like maybe Wooler, perhaps?
Yeah, perhaps. We're still playing the long game. We don't know what our best lineup is yet, and we've got a lot of good young players in the Neefle who are looking for an opportunity. So we'll be playing that sort of balancing act for the rest of the year. Toby missed most of the second half of last year with injury, so in a sense he's really going through his first full year. His form has been strong. He's certainly been talked about. He's put himself in the frame, but it's all a matter of being in good form and opportunity turning up at the right time.